there's been quite a reaction to this story, hasn't there? And I was interested to hear, this new legal opinion on what West Yorkshire Police are doing, because of course they're adamant that everything they're doing is within the law, and they've evidently studied the law to see just how far they can go and perhaps stretch it without getting into any kind of trouble. I've been contacted by a few people, and one of them told me that it's not just white candidates who've failed to get jobs in West Yorkshire Police that are pretty upset by this, but there are also police within the force, so those who've already got jobs, who are pretty frustrated because they feel that they are being passed over for promotion as ethnic minorities are prioritised. Now, that's not something I've looked into yet. I'm sure West Yorkshire Police will vociferously deny it, but I look forward to hopefully more information coming our way on those allegations.
Well, let's cover this story now. In a little while, I want to talk about the parole board and yet another egregious case of trying to release someone they shouldn't be trying to release. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's dwell on this story since we brought the subject up. Yeah, as we discussed last night, it's clear that Britain's WOKEST police force, for that is what West Yorkshire Police undoubtedly are. They spend nearly £1.5 million a year on diversity roles. Their head of diversity, who has nothing to do with crime fighting, earns £91,000 a year. They've got about 15, 20 full-time diversity workers, so they're incredibly woke in that direction. And now I think they think they're being woke and forward thinking basically by stopping white people applying to be coppers, because they say they want to get the racial balance right, and they've got too many whites. They've got 23% of the local population up there are apparently of ethnic origin, and only 9% of the cops are of ethnic minorities. So they're trying to redress that balance. Now, as you implied there, Isabel, what's clear from their statement that they gave you yesterday, in which they confirmed exactly what your story was? They're prioritising people of ethnic origin, people of colour, over white people. In that reply, it became very clear that they have gone into the equality law with lawyers to come up with a reason to justify what they're doing legally. Now, every time lawyers do that, yes, you can come up with an argument. Lawyers are good at that. But you will find there'll be other lawyers who can go into the same law and say, well, actually, this is breaking the law. And we've got a lawyer later who's going to say just that. And I've got to say, it struck me, if you look up the legal definition of discrimination, it is illegal to discriminate against anyone on the grounds of their race, creed or colour, the colour of their skin. They are discriminating against white people. And that is a skin colour problem. And therefore, I think that our lawyer friend later is going to have a point.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about last night. They are doing it to the extent of allegedly colour coding candidates. And we talked about this last night. Certain ethnic groups are branded gold. The next level down is silver. And guess where we whites are? We're at the bottom of the pile. We're not black. We are bronze.
Yeah, we're the rubbish old bronze ones, aren't we? Yes, yes. Now, this, as again last night, but it's worth bringing it up again. This is the same police force. You did a lot of work up in the Hare Hills area. You know that district well. That's where this riot erupted. Funnily enough, not long before the summer riots. They were a kind of prelude to the big summer riots. This was for a different reason, but it was ethnic unrest, an ethnic riot. The West Yorkshire Police went into that area. The whole area was going up in flames. They stood around for about 10 minutes and then they pulled out for 5 hours and let the ethnic rioters get on with it. So there's that problem. What on earth were they thinking? And it turns out that while they're polishing their woke credentials, their virtue signalling halos, West Yorkshire Police are presiding over one of the worst rates of soaring crime in the country. They're way above the national average. Last year, there were more than 300,000 crimes committed in that area, and their solving rate is pathetic. So they're spending a lot of time being woke and right on, signalling their virtue, polishing their halos, but they're not doing much about crime, which I think sums up modern policing in this country, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the core offer of Yorkshire Police, their whole reason for existing is to solve and prevent crime. You know, actually their reason for existing and the basis on which they're publicly funded has nothing to do with whether they've got a rainbow-coloured lineup of staff or whether their staff are all white or all black or all brown or all pink. You know, that isn't part of what they are there to do in terms of serving a community. And we were saying last night, you know, most people, I don't think most victims of crime, frankly, give a monkey's what colour the police officer is that deals with it. They just want someone to deal with it. And, you know, across the country, crime solving rates are woeful. You know, when you look at these statistics, they're often in the kind of low single figures in some areas and some types of crime. And you just wonder how on earth it is that this allocation of time and resources and budget can possibly be justified. And, you know, we're focusing hard here on West Yorkshire Police, but I bet you there are umpteen other forces across the country that are guilty of this as bad or worse. You know, I hear a lot of frustration within the Met about all sorts going on in there, and working on that to bring us more stories from inside the Met in London. It's not just a West Yorkshire Police thing, although they are a particularly embarrassingly awful example.
Yeah, I mean, it's a global phenomenon. The woke lefties, this is one of their choruses, you know, that police forces, fire brigades should somehow or other exactly ethnically reflect the communities that they serve. So if there's 23% ethnic people in West Yorkshire, then, oh my God, it's imperative that the police force has 23% ethnic people. I mean, you know, I suppose in some ways that's quite a nice idea, but it's not paramount. It's not that important. And what is wrong is that policing, candidates to become police officers, should be chosen on one basis. That is their excellence, their aptitude for the job. Will they be good at the job? What is going on now in West Yorkshire Police, and they admit it, is first of all, white people can't even get to be interviewed. But even if they are, they're likely to be rejected for ethnic reasons. You know, I'm sorry, you're a great candidate, but we've got these quotas. We've got to get to 23%. So we're not going to choose you. We're going to choose this worse qualified guy who's from an ethnic community. That's what's going on. And that is dangerous to the public. Policemen should be chosen, policemen and women should be chosen purely on their ability, their aptitude for the jobs, not the colour of their skin.
Can I just add one thing that I found quite amusing, but is just a kind of symbolic of the whole situation? So apparently you and I have been talking a lot here about ethnic minorities, but apparently West Yorkshire Police is so woke that some people within West Yorkshire Police actually refer to ethnic minorities as the global majority. I kid you not.
Oh, yeah, that's the new thing, isn't it? The global majority.
We're now the minorities, Kev. You know, white people are now minorities because the global majority is not white.
Yeah, so let me ask the audience, they come up with a new term, don't they, every single day.